guys, and welcome back to my 20s channel. So if you're joining us for the first time, my 20s is a platform where people within the age range of 20s come together to talk about different issues, ranging from relationship, marriage, finances, health, career, basically anything and everything that affects us in our 20s. So if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our Instagram page, please do so at my20s_ platform. On today's episode, so usually when we want to start, we start with a quote, but today we'll start with a tweet. The tweet actually inspired what we want to talk about today. But before we go into that, I have some guests with me and I would like to introduce them. So I have here Obembe, and I have with me Rotimi as well.
Hi
You're
guys.
welcome. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
What about you, Rotimi?
Fine.
Okay. This is their first time anyways, and of course they're in their 20s. So I saw this tweet. I will just read it out. It was from a lady on Twitter. So she said, just because I said no doesn't mean you must go and date someone else. Wait for me. I know what I'm doing. So when I saw that tweet in my head, I'm like, okay. I mean, someone has asked you out and you said no, and then you're still asking him to wait. What do you think of that?
For me, I think this is when I say ladies are confused a lot.
Okay.
Being the more emotional being in that sense, they really don't know what they want sometimes, or they are not super clear about it. So when the guy asks them out, some want to play hard to get, want to see how far he can go in pursuit of them. And what they don't know is that guys nowadays don't have that time again. If I ask you out and you're doing blah blah blah, I move on to the next person.
So okay, going to Rotimi now, do you think it's a question of, so he said something like girls don't know what they want. So do you think that, that kind of mindset is just, peculiar to ladies? Don't you think even guys have, similar mindset?
Oh yeah, I totally agree that guys have that similar mindset. In quotes, some guys are cowards, right?
Okay.
Like they can't take ownership for their decisions, so to say. So for me, back to that question you asked, I don't totally agree it's a function of they are confused in quotes. So I don't want to over spiritualize stuff right now, but maybe the young woman is just trying to pray, get approval from God or get approval from people around her. So it's not exactly like she's confused, right? She's trying to seek some sort of validation, right? And she can't move on, like, let me say ASAP, because this is a life, like this is a life path and this is a long-term journey. You can't just say, oh yes, this random guy comes up to say, oh I like you, can we? I'm like, yes, like it sounds awkward, right? Let's give it time, let's be friends. Like there's stuff they call process, right? You can't just jump on a lifetime journey with anybody just like that, right? Some people it works perfectly for them, oh well and good, and some people they just want to take their time. Let me just speak for myself.
So
Yeah.
you seem to
Yeah, because I don't know. The ask you are coming from now, it's a different case, because if I ask you out and you say give me time, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
Now I know you're not saying no. You want to think things through. You have something you want to do before you get back to me. So now it is up to me to say, okay, how long should I give you?
Okay.
Or you have to state out clearly. Let's be friends first. Let's see how it goes from there. Okay, give me time. I want to sort some things out. Okay, I'm just exiting a relationship. I can't get into a new one now. As I state it out clearly. But the moment you say no, I feel that is you shutting the door to a relationship. And you don't expect me to now still stay there waiting for you to say yes without moving on with my life.
Okay, so on that note, we are going to introduce the topic for today's conversation. We're going to be talking about leading someone on. Is it right or should I Ment, that kind of thing? Like, we want to be sure if it's, so from what she has said, so she's saying that, okay, a guy has asked her out. Why are you moving on? Why don't you just stay? So that sounds to me like she probably, still wants to be leading the guy on, even though she's not exactly sure what she wants, or she actually knows what she wants, but she's enjoying, whatever it is, the closeness, the friendship. So first we start with, is leading someone a thing? Does it happen? Have you experienced it? Start with me.
Oh my god. Okay. I almost had similar experience, to be honest, right? Speaking from a personal point of view. I remember that year in school, right? As an undergrad. So my classmates, year one, I think I was in year one, and I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out life. You don't understand, like And interestingly, I was in a particular fellowship at that time whereby we could not be in a relationship. So outrightly, I just knew it in my head, like, guy, let's focus on where we are here first. Then after that, maybe in a couple of years, year 3, year 4, maybe the Lord can say something here. We can pick it up from there. So I outrightly told the young man that this is the situation and all of those things. So like, oh no, written me, we can still make this work and all of those things. But deep down in my heart, I know that I wasn't ready for anything. Right, so things, we were very good friends. We were cool. We studied together. We all of those things. And fast forward to year 3, year 4, fam felt that I was leading him on. But in reality, I outrightly stated it that this is the situation on ground, and you were like, oh, you will hang on. It's fine if you want to hang on, right? Long story short, you moved on with someone else in my class and all of those things. But yeah, that was just like my own fair share.
But did you feel like you led him on?
No, because I actually mentioned it. If I didn't, then I would have agreed that I led him on.
Okay, so when it's been mentioned, like when you've communicated how you feel or your stance about either a friendship or relationship, it's not leading someone. What do you think about that?
I think for me it's dicey in that sense, because I feel if someone tell you how they feel about you romantically, I feel it's not just enough to just tell them, guy, I'm not interested in this. I feel it's actually up to you to actually create a space. Because we know the culture we are in today. A lot of them say no, and then after I go again, they say yes. So because of that culture that is gone on already, I think it is very right for you to, after saying no, create a space where you guys, maybe it's just a look how you are saying to each other, but at least so that it will basically actually accept what you have said. Because the moment you say no, and you guys still resume the relationship you guys had prior to saying no, it's almost like, now you said to him, maybe 3 level, 4 level, something can happen. So to him now, it might feel like, it might be open to that 3 level, and you said that when it goes to 3 level, he asks you again. Because it was in mind that, oh, I'm not ready now, I'll be ready. Exactly. So in other sense, you might have felt we led him on. But some people do it unconsciously. Why some people are very conscious about it, I won't lie about that. But a lot of people do it unconsciously, where they feel like we are just friends, nothing is going on. Meanwhile, on the other person's part, they're already catching feelings and a lot of things are already going on.
But then, okay, on the second thought, why can't, so for instance, there was someone that, was asking me out, and I know I didn't like the guy, but I enjoyed the friendship. So why can't we, why can't we keep friends? She get me, I enjoyed the friendship, the whole,
a great guy.
She get always there to help. She understand, why, do you get what I mean? Why can't, we
the brotherly love continue?
She get exact. Oh God, she's feeling me. She's
understanding. Actually, you guys will understand because you are seeing from your own perspective. From the guy's perspective also, it happens that way to where you are enjoying a lady's attention, the ladies, two of you click, you vibe, do everything, and then also this is asking you what are we, and you're like, killer, we are just friends, we are nothing supposed to be, what are you, where is this all coming from? And then the lady say, we went on dates together, and she's listening to this, and you from your own perspective, to just friends going out together. From my own perspective, you guys are going on dates, you are doing intimate things together. So, as you are saying you enjoy it, and you are seeing from the perspective of friendship, him is seeing from the perspective of, I want to date this girl, I'm doing this thing. I think the mistake is him not outrightly asking the person out. Because sometimes a lot of us feel like if you keep on doing these things, the person will like me, I like you. A lot of relationships now even start like that, where they don't ask each other out. They just start talking, become friends, they are nice to each other, start going on dates, and then bam, boyfriend, girlfriend.
So should I be like, from what you said now, you said that, people just become friends, then they go out, and all of that maybe the guy didn't outrightly ask the girl out. So should there be some form of boundaries, or is there a time where you have to come and say, okay, I think we are just friends and we can, because there are times that you're just being yourself and someone feels like they are being led on. Do you understand? Like you're not doing anything extra. I'm just being your friend, I'm just being nice, I'm just checking up on you, but because somebody's already catching feelings, whatever you do, they misinterpret and feel like you're going overboard. So should we just say, okay, you can't be friends with the opposite sex just because you're afraid the person will be feel led on or what?
Oh, you want to go? I think you should. I think you should.
But, I won't say you shouldn't be friends with the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would say is this: we are, to an extent, we know. I don't. Okay, let me not speak for everybody, but to me, I know when someone is acting some way towards me and expecting something, and I quickly sister zone or family zone the person so as to not elongate the matter. So when I see that this lady is looking for something and me, I cannot give this something, it's either I outrightly tell you that hey, this is where I am now.
Yeah.
I'm not into anything relationship stuff. I'm just, if you want to be fair in school, fine, I'll be there for you. But when it comes to relationship, I'm not offering it now. We can be friends, we can go to parties together, we can do a lot of other things together, but when it comes to relationship, I'll move my hand. So I think most of us know when that thing is happening, but because we enjoy it and we don't want it to stop, we just feel like if you did not talk,
after he didn't ask me, I was
exactly.
so I'm not doing anything.
Right.
Okay. Alright, so I totally agree with him, right? So like you mentioned, sometimes can be so unconscious that you're leading someone on, right? So I think I'm quite better now, right? So before too, I do it unconsciously, but over time I've been able to say, oh, you know what? There's a time whereby you have to clearly define the boundaries. So I think I learned that last year, right? So yeah, I totally agree with him.
Okay, what if, let me just try and paint a scenario. Okay, what if, you meet someone, the person is in a relationship, but then they enjoy your company. Do you understand? You also like them. Then along the line, the person will keep saying things like, I like you. So all those kind of words, because probably you so maybe like them in some certain way or deeper way. So when you say things like, oh, I like you, so all those words you think like they are leading you on. Even though you know that the guy is in a relationship, but the way he relates to you, you also feel like the guy wants something more. So in that scenario, is it the person in a relationship that is leading the other person on?
That's you.
No, I said it earlier. We are adults and we know when certain things start to flare up. We know when things, there's a boundary for stuff. We know when things have left the boundary. But the truth is, a lot of us enjoy those things. We are afraid to confront those things because we know the answer we would get. We are afraid of those answers. So instead of asking those questions that would bring back those boundaries, we just feel like, let's see how everything goes. Maybe we break up with his girlfriend and then he'll come over to me. Maybe okay, so we don't want to ask those questions that will make him say, well, you have a girlfriend now.
Yeah.
What are we now doing here? So we already know the boundaries are already blurred. We know these things we are doing should just be doing back. Two people that are intimate with each other. We are watching two movies together by 10 p.m. We are lying on the same bed together. We are already doing something together, calling 3 hours call, laughing to dry jokes together. And we both know that these things can lead to certain things. So instead of asking the question that we now bring those blood boundaries clearly back, we don't ask that question. We keep opening our mind as. So whenever the guy come and say, my girlfriend even do this, man, I don't know, this guy is frustrating me. You see the girl saying, what are you doing? Meanwhile, she's hoping that this relationship does scatter and then she goes in. So it's like I said, it's dicey, but most of the time I feel we know. We just are too afraid to confront the situation because of the emotional idea involved.
Actually, that's it. And I feel like, because we are very young, your emotions are very fickle. They are not balanced yet. You're not in that. So, okay, random question. Do we now say from what we've said that, friendship between two opposite sex is difficult or impossible?
No, I don't think it's difficult, to be honest, right? So like you clearly mentioned, so at some point you definitely know this thing is going over the boundary, over the line. So my guy, like, yes, we talk, we relate, like walking and everything. But when you are beginning to smell the rats that this thing is, then let's sit down and have a conversation, right? I think we are gradually stepping above the boundary. Let's have conversations. We can talk. We are adults in quotes, so we can have a conversation for sure.
Okay, what about you?
I don't know. For me, most of my life, my best friends have been females, and we have not had issues.
Okay.
Clearly, and the thing about it is, I feel if what drew you guys together is not relationship, the friendship would go far. But if what drew you guys together from the beginning was relationship, it would be very impossible to actually say you are best friends without blurring the lines.
Let me cut you short. So, you know, we've had scenarios where people started off as friends, and along the line, one person developed feelings, but because they like the friendship so much, they don't want to lose it. But they are hoping one day that this other person would ask them out. Then one day they just hear that that person is either getting married or has a serious relationship.
Nobody said it clearly now. One person is open, one person is open, and then you hear the best friend saying you never talk, and then the only drama starts again. So what I'm saying literally is, for example, most of my best friends now, it's either been work or church or something else that drew us closer together. So we have enough things to talk about that is not relationship. And then when we talk, it goes wrong. But when the thing that drew you guys together in the first place is relationship. Or you guys have not caused that ordeal of that relationship talk where you know it can never happen. You know, the thing is, most best friends don't talk to themselves about that relationship talk. Like, can we date each other?
Okay.
The moment you guys don't talk about that it's like one elephant in the room. It will always be in both of you mind somewhere. Especially with people all around now. Now, baby, that's not your best friend, baby. So people will always imply it.
Yeah.
So it's up to talk about, have that talk, and they just discard it. Because in the moment you have discarded it, you know it's gonna happen again. So it brings room for so many things to be discussed. You won't feel, when a person do some things, you won't feel emotionally attached to those things because you know that I'm a guy. But when you get not had those talk, the person go and do something, you start feeling like, I really like, let me withdraw small. Or you start really meaning to stuff that has no meaning.
Okay, so my next question now is to me. So, okay, when you meet someone, you're not exactly sure what you want with them, and then you know what the person wants with you, and the person keeps, buying you gifts, and you keep collecting it. But in your mind, you don't know what you want, or maybe you don't even want anything. But because the gift, keeps coming, you keep collecting them. Do you think that's like right, so to speak?
Okay. So. First off, collecting gifts. You have been generous now. You have been generous, and you might sound. Thank you for the gift. We'll collect it with joy. Well, thank you. But to be honest, I think we need to get to a point in our lives whereby we have to be brutally honest with ourselves, right? So you are coming, you are bringing gifts, but in my mind, I've assessed you already, right? So I think we should have a conversation with ourselves to say, what do I really want in life? Does this person even match? Do I want to reproduce after this kind? So let me answer all those questions for myself then. So you are bringing gifts. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Are such a sweet and amazing fellow. Thank you and all of those things. But the deep work still boils down to me to say, do I really want to go with this person, right? So if I can answer that question, then. And if otherwise, I'm not leading you on. You are just being generous to me. And
so even after you've had the conversation, you're still bringing gifts. You still be collecting the gifts.
So I'm quite big on having conversations with people, right? So the moment I get to that point and I say, no, it's not. So I just tell you outright that this is the way I feel about it. So it's not left for you to decide. You want to still be Samaritan or you want to exit. You pick. It's your choice.
Okay. So what do you have to say to that?
As a guy, I feel the thing is the culture we are in Nigeria now. It allows for a lot of things, which include people not marrying for love, but for financially stable to run a family. So when
that's a valid reason.
No, I've seen several instances of my guy in universities then serious relationship with all these Igbo girls, and then we go for this long semester break, and she come back with the rings that somebody abroad, I just go back, I already see the deal. And my guy is like, oh wow. So, and it's like that. So, gifts has been known to win a lot of girls over. So, you see some girls say no today, and then the guy starts doing the for birthday, money, flower, everything. Before you know it, the friends of the girls start saying, I sure you don't want. You sure you not give his number like this? And before you know it, even though we are saying all these things jokingly, before you know it, your heart starts opening because gift works in a mysterious way. Even the Bible say, we are going before kings, the gift will make way for you. So by the time you carry it the first time, instead you start
gift is your love language.
Some people get there.
Gift is not their love language. Let's be clear. Some people it's just mere act of service, right? So if you are bringing gift, Sarah.
Gift has a way of working as act of service.
But not for everybody now. It's not for everybody.
Might not be for everybody,
Exactly.
but I keep giving you a gift. My own is this is my own. If me and you have a talk today now, and I say, baby, more fair, more need here, more the fair car, relationship, you know kind of thing now. And I start sending it, and then after like a while, you tell me this thing is not possible again. Like send it next, return it. Don't collect it.
Why should I return it?
No. Because if you are collecting it, that means you are telling me that there's still lights at the end of the tunnel. That the tunnel is just long. So me now, I'm ready. I have the money. We'll continue selling the gifts.
I will keep squandering.
But so that's the thing. She already told you.
I'll try.
Why do you keep sending the
gifts?
gifts?
Because the culture we are in Nigeria, I don't already say no and still say yes later. So no sometimes is not no for Nigerian ladies. No means yes later. Try harder. Send more gifts. Bring more money.
True,
so because of that, no is not enough. If you tell me no, don't collect the gift again. Like I said earlier, that once you set your mind saying I'm not interested in this relationship, this thing can go on, create a space. All those 10 o'clock
but
calls
wait,
that
I'll
you
be
should
stressing
do
myself saying you sent me gifts. For example, you sent it to my office. I'll now be the one to stress myself and say I don't want, or you dropped it as surprise. I'll now be the one to do the delivery to return it back to you. Why?
Once you repeat it twice, once you send my gift back twice, I don't send it back again.
So she doesn't send it back.
But she don't send it back. I'll be like, girl, let's add more pressure.
So that means at that point she also needs to be open-minded because it could go either way. Even if you keep adding pressure, she might still say no, and she might not say yes.
Yeah.
Okay, have you led someone on?
Personally, I would say no, but I've been accused unconsciously of leading people on. Though I stated out at the beginning, but you know, a lot of our ladies, or let's say, a lot of our ladies, when you say stuff, they feel maybe you are joking, or maybe you are not being serious at that moment. Or if you want to guys get to know each other, you change your mind. So you feeling like you have said it earlier, that maybe to a person knows already, and a person knows already now, and then you know as guys then we need every help we can get. So whenever I have to come, who am I to say no at all like that? So I've been accused, but personally I don't feel I've let anybody else.
You've done it unconsciously.
No,
That's a symbol.
What about you, Ruth?
Well, it seems I've done it unconsciously. Let's be honest.
But consciously,
no. Nah.
Okay. We've come to the end of today's episode. We talked about being led on. If you've done it or if you've been at the receiving end, lessons learned from it. But bottom line of everything we've said is boundaries should be set. Always be honest. It's hard to have the honest conversation, but you would save yourself time and you will save someone heartbreak if you're being honest about what you want or what you're doing. And on that note, we've come to say goodbye. But please let us know what you think about what we've discussed in the comment section. Share your experiences, your opinions. Of course, like and share and subscribe. Thank you.